So I absolutely love strawberries and I'm always going on about them, and this time of year is the best time of year I think to just illustrate the whole range of different strawberries that I've got growing. And I'll just step you through how I grow them and get such a long harvest period from April through to sort of well into October. And so I start them outside, so basically take runners in September from my second early strawberry bed, and so that is a variety called Sweetheart. So I try and take second year runners, but if I can only find first year runners then they still do reasonably well. Transplant those into hanging baskets, as I say, sort of in about September, August, September sort of time, so that they're well established before they hit winter. Leave them outside in the hanging baskets until about late January sort of time. Does depend a little bit on the weather. If we're going to get a really bad February, then I'll bring them into the polytunnel maybe a little bit earlier. Put them in the polytunnel, hang them up on the crop bars in the polytunnel, and I'll have a lot of plants in here, sort of 20, 24 hanging baskets, something like that. And then as soon as the first ones in the polytunnel start to ripen, I take half of them and put them into the back garden on my permanent bean and pea frame. Just hang them from there. And what that achieves is a successional harvest. So the ones in the polytunnel come first then, and we harvest those for about sort of 3 or 4 weeks. And then just as that crop is starting to decline, which is about now, then the ones in the back garden really kick in, and we get those for another 2 or 3 weeks. And then when they start to decline, the second earlies, which are out on the polytunnel in the ground, those are the plants from which these runners were taken that are in the hanging baskets. Those start to come ready, and then just as they're starting to kind of decline, then the main crops are ready in the back garden and on Debbie's plot in the planting pockets. And then when they start to decline, then the kind of, I don't know what you call them, but the late main crops start to come are in the perennial bed on my plot, and then they go all the way through August and into sort of very early September. And then I don't know what they call them now, Perpetual or ever-bearing strawberries kick in, and I've got some of those outside here in containers behind me. And I take the flowers off those at this time of year. I find that they don't taste very good, but by taking the flowers off, the plants put all their energy into growth, so that those plants in their containers are the strongest possible plants by the time we get into autumn. So then we get a nice autumn crop, and then we're done with strawberries and we don't buy any. So we really look forward to getting them again in late April. So that's kind of the strawberry growing cycle, and it works quite nicely for me. And I say I really love strawberries. It's the crop that I most look forward to harvesting. It's what I think of as the first taste of summer, even though it happens back in April. I have tried doing them even earlier than that in the conservatory, and it basically just doesn't work. I can't get enough light in the conservatory to grow them. So the polytunnel is the best I can do. It's unheated, but up in the canopy of the polytunnel they do really well. There's never any problem with fruit set. You don't need very many insects or anything like that. And also just high up in the polytunnel, they never seem to get touched by ground frost. So I don't think I've ever really lost a strawberry to a cold snap in spring. There we go. That's all about strawberries. I've got a guide to how I grow them down below in my ebook. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.